We're out here in the blueberry patch today. It's myself, Sammy, and then Mom right there. We've been picking for about an hour or so, and we got 4 buckets. Beautiful blueberries. These are different than the last time we were picking here. The bushes are a little bit smaller. The blueberries are a little bit smaller, but the clusters seem to be a little more ripe, so you can literally pull whole entire handfuls off every single cluster, which I kind of figured probably takes about the same amount of time because you're picking smaller berries faster, or you can pick bigger berries a little bit slower. It's kind of your own preference, but we came down here just to try it. We're at the furthest back little patch of the entire blueberry farm. You can see here, I don't know how many acres it is, but up there is the stand where you weigh everything at, and it's blueberries all the way around. And I would assume this patch right here is probably gonna be blueberries here within the next year or so. Sammy just came in with another bucket. That makes 5. Mom should be finishing number 6. Mom is in last. She's about a half bucket behind, but she's coming along slowly.
Shut up. I didn't know it was a competition.
And her berries are more loaded than anybody's. Look at these clusters.
They are nice.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. Literal handfuls. Wow, look at these.
It wasn't always this good.
Sammy, you gotta come down here. If you kind of just roll your fingers around a cluster, you can pull the whole thing off at one time. Sometimes you get, one berry you don't want, but that's no big deal. Like that one. So we're back now from unloading the blueberries at the farm market, and we are working on the last transplanting of the season. My Graham Hoffman was here, my Uncle Rick, my mom, and as you can see, my pap and Sammy, my girlfriend, are here at the moment. And so we're working on all of the late season cole crops. We're getting ready to shut down number 1, and by shutting down, I mean turning off all the fans because there's no reason to run them if there's nothing in here. As soon as we get the rest of the cole crops finished up, and mostly everything here is cauliflower, one of those varieties being the purple, which is purple cauliflower. And that's really cool to see if you've never seen it. We'll hopefully be harvesting some within the next 2-3 weeks. The only other thing in here is some planters for my sister's bridal shower. All of the vine crops are out here now, which is the cantaloupe and watermelon for the second planting, and my sunflowers, cut sunflowers to be specific, for the field. Over here's the watermelon, and then over there is the cantaloupe. They're all pretty small yet, but hopefully in about a week or so, we'll be putting these in the ground. We have the whole setup here, bags of soil, which is the Pro Mix biofungicide with mycorrhizae. Put it in here, mix it with some water, fluff it up a little bit. Sammy or myself are filling trays, and then like I said, everybody is working on the transplanting. Everything's going in 1206s, which there's 72 cells in each flat. And then once everything gets finished up, We're moving them in here to the number 2 greenhouse. And that's all these flats right here. I think Dad was estimating by the time we're finished, there should be somewhere around like 75 to maybe even 100 flats, which is quite a bit.
Day breaks, I'm going out to find my soul. Mistakes will follow my tracks in the snow. And I know this about it, if there's anything I know, they haunt me everywhere I go. So don't you go and tell me that the world's gone crazy, as if I didn't know that before. I made myself some money and traded it for something that I don't even need anymore. At least we're honest about it, if we're anything at all. At least we came and we saw. At least we came and we saw.
We just finished up. This is everything. Broccoli, kale, cauliflower, kohlrabi, cabbage. I might be missing something, but that's just about all of it. It's the next day. We just finished picking blueberries again. We picked double the amount. I don't even know how many pounds it was, but Mom's gonna be out here in a couple minutes to drop them off here at the farm market. Sammy and I came over here to check out the zinnias just to see how they made out from the ones that were caught underneath the plastic. We did notice the bunny has came and chewed off like 2 or 3 of them, but I don't think that's gonna hurt them at all. And over here, these all seem to be good. Besides, we are missing a plant there. I don't know how we missed that yesterday. But other than that, the ones that were underneath look just fine. So hopefully now we don't get any really bad storms and they can grow big enough to where the plastic isn't gonna bother them no more. There's 1 bucket, and then in here, oh, well, there's 4 more buckets right here. And then back here in the cooler,
Get this one?
yeah, we have 6 more buckets, which I don't know if I said it or not, but that is the most we have ever picked. Dad went to the auction yesterday and picked up a lot of local produce. And so the cooler is stocked full with watermelons and peaches, rhubarb, cauliflower, beets, cukes, pickles, eggplant. We have local apples. Here's more cucumbers right here. All ready for the weekend and the 4th of July parties. Here's all the produce out front here that Dad got. Really good variety of just about everything. That's actually our own kohlrabi. All this is local: tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, pickles, red beets, eggplant, rhubarb, all that stuff. So now Sammy and I are gonna head home and get into maybe picking up some irrigation pipe, just because it's in the way in our fields and we're getting a lot of rain now, so we don't really need it. We just got back here to the farm in the early season coal crops, and we gotta pick some kohlrabi, or more kohlrabi that is, for the farm market. A lot of it is like perfect size, and then we might even venture out to the other end where there's some purple kohlrabi. So it's pretty simple. Kind of just grab it right by the bulb and lift it out. The smaller it is, the easier it is to pull out. And then we have clippers. We'll just cut it right off at the base, and then snip off a couple of the lower leaves. And that's it right there. And basically what people do with it is just take the outside skin off, obviously take the leaves off. Some people juice the leaves, but not many. And then you just slice it thin, put some salt on it, eat it raw, or you can dice it up, put it in soups, stews, anything like that. But for the majority of people, what I hear is they just eat it raw. And it's obviously extremely healthy. This one might be a little smaller. Here's a nice one. Wow, we're gonna get a lot in that crate. All right,
That was satisfying.
all right, so now we moved into the purple or red, whatever you want to call it. Hold it out here in the sun, Sammy. It's got a really cool color to it. I think it has the same flavor, just different coloring, kind of like purple cauliflower. The only thing is you can tell on the inside of these, they're green. For some reason, it's just mostly the skin. They're definitely darker than a green or regular kohlrabi, but they're not like solid purple all the way through. And we'll just get 4 of these just to mix in, add some color on the table. We don't plant near as many of these because this is only our 2nd year growing them and people aren't really used to them yet. So they're not very much sought after.
Need a bigger one. Oh wow, look at this one. Wow, look at these. These are big.
Well, we'll have to wait for those. If you guys have been following along, you'll know I planted this dill probably about 4 videos ago. And it's just starting to poke out of the ground right now. You can see how it's actually cracking, which is good, meaning it's pushing up out. I think I could have planted it a little bit shallower. It took a little bit longer than I thought to come up, but it is coming up very well, which is good. I'm gonna say in about 2 or 3 days, it'll be all out of the ground, probably about 1 inch. We've now moved into the garlic. That's a beauty. With these rainstorms that we keep getting, it makes the ground nice and soft, so they pull out pretty good. But when we're gonna harvest a lot, like I'm talking in the hundreds, we'll either use an actual digger on the back of a tractor, or we'll just use a fork, you know, and it makes it a lot better. That way you're not putting any stress on that bulb because you're pulling out a lot of dirt and a lot of roots.
Wow, this one's big too.
Look at the mud chunks coming out, honey. This is kind of average size right here, which is a real nice size.
Wow, that's huge.
Then we'll take it back and wash it up. We used to take it to market and sell it with the tops on it because it's cool. Nobody really knows how garlic grows. But then everybody asks us to get our clippers out and cut them off. So we're like, well, we'll just cut them shorter. That way we don't have all that mess. We got our pile. Now Sammy's gonna clip. Usually we use scissors. Usually we use like a knife to kind of just lop the top off because it's still kind of green and soft. But we had the clippers from the kohlrabi and it's actually seeming to work very well. We just got here to the hose. Sammy's working on cleaning the garlic. It's like a night and day difference. Look how nice and pretty white that is. And this is what they look like before she touches them. Basically a mud ball. Closer. There you go. Now we're moving into the high tunnel for one last harvest. We're finally getting some red ones. Well, one last harvest for today. There's nothing else ready on the farm. Probably just gonna get mostly green because we don't have many red.
Wow.
And then a couple, you know, red if we can find them.
They're huge.
Oh, I know.
Why are they so big this year?
We did something right. You don't have to get stems off the green ones, we never do.
Oh. Okay.
We don't want to get small ones, but we'll get a variety of sizes. That way, you know, if it's a little old lady and she doesn't want such a huge tomato, you know, she has her options. Yeah, let them go. We'll try not to bury the red ones on the bottom. You gotta move over here, Sammy. The bigger one's over here.
There's a big one right here.
Right there's a nice one.
This one?
Nope. Oh, yeah, that one too.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, this one?
It's not a monster, but it's a good size. Here, Sammy, put this one in the box. Oh, here's another one. Wow, look at this guy. We gotta get these out of the way just because we can't even drive through.